Charlotte has been ranked one of the hottest housing markets in the country, even landing near the top of some national hotspot lists. But here's the real question. Does that mean it's still a smart time to buy in Charlotte right now? I'm Patrick Kennedy. I'm a local realtor here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I help people relocate to the Charlotte area. If you want help making the right move here, the best way to reach me is to call or text me at 984-306-5668. You can also use the links in the description to email me or schedule a time on my calendar. All right, so let's get into it. Why Charlotte is getting national attention. Charlotte didn't end up on national housing lists by accident. Over the last several years, we've seen double-digit job growth, especially in banking, fintech, healthcare, logistics, and tech-adjacent roles. Population growth has stayed strong, with well over 100 people per day moving into the greater Charlotte region. The National Association of Realtors recently ranked Charlotte number 2 among the top housing markets to watch, citing job growth, household formation, and long-term demand. And here's the important part. This isn't speculative growth. This is people moving here for real jobs, real income, and long-term lifestyle changes. That matters because housing demand driven by the fundamentals tends to hold up better over time. Now that we know why Charlotte is getting attention nationally, let's talk about what the market actually feels like if you're buying today. The market right now, if you're watching from out of town, probably feels a little confusing. Some headlines say prices are still high, others say the market is slowing. Both are true. Inventory in the Charlotte metro is up roughly 20 to 25% compared to last year this time, which is the highest supply we've seen in close to a decade. Homes are sitting on the market longer, often several weeks instead of days. At the same time, price growth has slowed into low single-digit range instead of the double-digit jumps we were seeing several years ago. So what does this mean for buyers? Well, it means more choice, less emotional pressure, and more room to negotiate. This isn't a crashing market, but it is a normalizing market. And for relocation buyers, that change is huge. So with that context in mind, let's talk about what your money actually buys here, under $1 million. For under $1 million, you can get quite a bit in the Charlotte area. As of November 2025, the median home price in the Charlotte area was approximately $402,000. That puts Charlotte close to the national median, but not above it. Here's where Charlotte stands out. At that price point, buyers typically get more space, more lot size, and more flexibility than in many other hotspot markets. Under $1 million, buyers are usually choosing between larger, single-family homes that may be farther from the job centers, townhomes that balance space and commute, or condos that prioritize convenience and a lifestyle. The real decision isn't just price, it's space versus time. More space usually means more driving. Less driving usually means paying more per square foot. Neither choice is wrong, but every choice has a trade-off. And that brings us to one of the most underestimated parts of buying in Charlotte, which is the cost of that commute. The cost of commuting is an important consideration that all people need to think about when they get ready to move here. Usually when we think about commuting, we're thinking about the money. The gas, the car maintenance, the insurance, occasionally toll roads. And financially, Charlotte isn't too extreme there. Gas prices usually run a little below the national average. Our insurance rates in North Carolina are lower than many other states. But the bigger cost is time. The average commute in Charlotte is running about 25 to 30 minutes one way, and studies show drivers spend 60 or more hours a year stuck in traffic. So a home that's 50 grand cheaper but adds 30 minutes each way can quietly cost you 20 more hours a month, hundreds of hours per year. That's time with family, time for your health, time for your life. That's why commute tolerance should be a part of your buying strategy and certainly not an afterthought. So knowing all of that, what kind of leverage do buyers actually have right now? You'd be surprised to hear that they have quite a lot. There's been one of the biggest shifts over the last few years is that we've gained that leverage back. Not everywhere, not on every house, not on every listing, but strategically we have some leverage. We're seeing more seller paid closing costs, money toward interest rate buy downs, sellers doing repairs, and more flexible contingencies. In calmer markets, sellers want that certainty and they certainly want a clean deal. Sometimes asking for a rate buy down saves more monthly than asking for a price cut. So this is where your strategy matters more than speed. And that leads to the big question a lot of buyers ask, should I wait for the rates to drop? Waiting for rates to drop sounds pretty logical. But historically, when rates do drop, more buyers jump back in. So NAR projects that buyer activity is going to increase in 2026. More buyers usually means more competition, fewer concessions, and continued upward pressure on those home prices. You can always refinance your rate later. You can't refinance the purchase price of the home. That doesn't mean go out and buy at any cost. It just means timing should support your life, not fight against it. So let's zoom out just a little bit and talk about the relocation buyer reality. The best time to buy is rarely whenever the headlines say it's perfect. It's when your job timeline is clear, your finances are stable, your lifestyle goals are defined. Charlotte rewards prepared buyers, not rushed ones. If you're thinking about buying in Charlotte now or later this year, I'd love to help you think through it clearly. The best way to reach me is to call or text me at 984-306-5668 or use the links below to email me or schedule a call. And if you want a full breakdown of what it actually costs to live here, make sure you watch my next video on the cost of living in Charlotte. Have a good day. See you at the next video.